something I'm going to have to work on.
Even if it's a cheapie, just as a monitor to read the chat. Or have OBS over on.
Yeah.
All right, and we're live, so just.
We're live.
And, yeah,
nice.
And I'm not, I don't know how to do all that other stuff yet. So.
All right, yeah, I've got my YouTube monitor open. I don't know if anybody can hear me.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna go into.
I'm just starting on YouTube now.
Yep. Ads. I'm allowed to skip ads. You guys aren't.
All right. And go transition.
Yeah.
Set up your scene and transition. There we go.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, what happened?
There you go. Oh, you have it wrong, sized over. That's all right.
No, I've got.
Loopy, loopy.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I can't even stop that now. Hang on, y'all. I'm trying to figure this out.
Can y'all hear?
Where is? Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, I wish I could hang.
There we go. I got it. Transition. There we go. Now, I tell you, that was a bit of work. So, welcome to the show, y'all. Impractical Blacksmiths here. I got Alex, aka Sully, at Transcendental Artist Studios, hosting the show today for the first time. And today I've got Yamez in the Discord chat, and I've got Adam over at Speargrass Forge. Say hey, say hi, y'all.
Hey, I just realized I had to put in my headphones, otherwise there would be some echo.
All right. So I'm assuming this is working. So we're gonna go with that.
I can see you. I can hear you.
All right. That's always a good start. I mean, just I got this far, so that's always a start.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah. Good morning, Trail Dust, Robert Lunas, Matt Wyeth. Good day. We got Dylan Corwin, Danimal's Creation. Good morning, Rusty Hubcap Forge. What's going on there, Hubcap? Hope you're doing well this morning. Robert Lunas, what's up? Oh, I already said that. Aimless Adventure. What's going on, Matthew? Aaron Dennis, Paul, Eric, Speargrass Forge. Oh, look, he's in the stream. How about that?
Steve Parsons, Shane Lalonde, Pikachu.
Happened last Sunday, and what did I miss? Because I haven't had the opportunity to listen to last Sunday's stream, and Stephen Parsons has just thrown you right into it there, Yami.
Oh man! Last Sunday I went on during my forging show, my evening show. I went on a rip for Australians in the chat. It was ripe. It was great. So that's what he's referring to. I think it was right after I read that gibberish joke that I told you before the show. And I was like, I can't remember half the jokes that have to
Just
go
so that the chat knows, and that joke that he read regarding all those sweets or candies, they are all real sweets and candies here in Australia.
I don't think I read the joke live, but
So I got a question here. Hold on, I got to fix this. There we go. Volume wise, for you guys that are watching, volume wise, are we all about on the an even keel here? Because we did a test stream yesterday, and it from my end it sounded like it was just right. But then when I went back to rewatch it, I was way quieter than everybody else. And I mean, the Yamaz was just blowing the audio out of the water, and I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" And then I tried another one a little while later, and I got it kind of evened out. So I want to make sure that I got the settings kind of in the right place.
Yeah.
Good morning, Daniel. Good morning. Glad you could make it there, Dragonstone Gym and Ironworks. Crowd daddy.
Eric says we're good. Robert says it sounds good.
Cool,
thumbs up across the board.
I'm glad I got the audio right, because that was really annoying. After I went back and I watched all 40 some odd minutes of that test stream, and I'm like, oh man.
Oh yeah, audio's tricky with these streams. Like, I'm kind of excited to see that you giving this a shot, because I know from me working with you on it how difficult it can be. But it's just another person in this group that knows that, like, wow, it's a bit more involved than just setting the camera up and talking for an hour.
Boy, that is no kid. I mean, like, because we did the test stream last night, and I know we were on, I think, 50 some odd minutes or something like that, and this was an unlisted stream. I think we had it set to members only or something like that, but it doesn't put out notifications. And so we did all that, and then I had to go take care of cooking dinner and a few other things. And then I sat here last night, and I was like, well, it doesn't do me any good if the only thing I can do is start a stream when Yamez walks me through it. And so I decided, well, let me see if I can go live on my channel, and because to do that, I've got to change all the settings and basically start over. And so that's what I did. And I went, I did a test stream on mine, and I got the audio all set up, and I was like, okay, so now I just got to do that in reverse in the morning. And for a minute there, it was getting a little bit hairy because I couldn't figure out why my webcam wasn't working. And yeah, I got it now. So
yeah.
Woo-hoo.
And with that, we brought up a little snippet of a thing, and it was an idea we had yesterday. A new benefit for being a member. Usually in the past, when we want to test out a new gimmick or test new equipment or anything like that, we do a private stream and then watch it, after the fact. What we're going to do moving forward is any test stream we do will be members only. Okay, and reason for that is it's pretty much just behind the scenes, us sitting there, talking. It's not professionally done. It's not, anything other than just sitting there. Okay, does this work? All right, is your audio levels good? Okay, is this fine? Okay, is that good? And we'll set it for member. We're going to set it for members only, just because occasionally we would need somebody to be popping in and in the chat. So yeah, if you're a member, you have access to view our test video. And I'll be honest, they're pretty funny, but not community kind. Like, we have some crude jokes that roll through. So, Danimal, that weird reverb from me, if it is still going on, you might be behind a bit and catching me before I plugged in my headphones.
Yeah, I don't know, because on my end, all of the audio comes. What's going out is what's in my ear. So and I'm not hearing any. I mean, it doesn't mean it's not there. I mean,
I just checked the monitor. I do have a weird reverb, but it's not an echo. So
and
that just might be my mic.
Yeah, it's got to be on your end, because.
Yeah, and it might just be that I'm using a different mic right now for this. So sorry.
What are you gonna do?
I can actually. I'm not running the stream, so I can actually play with that.
Right. Yeah, you've got all the time you need.
Yeah.
Oh, so how was everybody's week? I know this is a little bit different for me. I'm not really used to being on this end of things. Where, yeah. So there's this. We got some new equipment in, and yeah, I'm digging it.
My week's been rather well, my week has been great, and I did a lot of work around my block and stuff like that in preparation for next fortnight when I'm off to do a hell of a lot of forging work in preparation for a show I've got coming up. And I was supposed to do more this week, but unfortunately things got away from me. And then today, I unfortunately, so the community knows, the chat knows, I'm not going to go into any details, but I got some rather, what an Australian would say, average news today, which basically means some not very good news to everywhere else. So, yeah, that kind of blew everything out of the water. So now I've just got to try and refocus on getting my head straight, so I can focus on do what you need to do, so you can achieve what you want to achieve. That's basically what's going on. Apparently, I've got a little bit of a wobble too.
Yeah. I don't know if what I did just fixed it or not. Y'all let me know. But
And and I don't know. It could be coming from my end. I don't know.
and I'll be honest, if it's not a major issue, let's not go into it right now.
Right.
Okay. They're saying it's not bad. It's just something they noticed. Oh, you could have reverb on the soundboard.
No, I've got. Well, hold on. Let me try that. Let me turn the echo off. There.
But yeah.
Now, is it still?
We'll find out in a few seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, sorry to jump in and interrupt. Yeah, go ahead. Continue, Adam. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I got a question right quick here, Yamez. You can see or you will be able to see or whatever in the Discord window. I've got you pulled up right now on the deal. How do I put that back to like all 4 logos or whatever?
Click me again. Click me harder.
Oh, there we go. Got it.
Click me harder.
Oh yeah, baby, just like that.
Somebody's gonna clip that.
It's already started. It's already started.
It's already started. So yeah. Again, I apologize. Continue with how, or if you're done, let me know. I'm sorry.
All right, have a great week there, Eric.
Have a good one.
Adios.
Crawford stomps foot. No, fix it now. Yeah. All right.
Robert, just saw your thing about you got accepted into an exclusive art show in your area, but the fee is $975, presuming that's US. Would you guys take the opportunity to do, and what do you think? But first of all, what I would do personally is find out who else is showing what type of art they do, and if they make sales on the day. If they do, then depending on how much you expect to sell your pieces for, I would straight away double my prices and then potentially think about it. But if it all depends on, do they make sales? Are they allowed to sell, or is it just an exposure thing? That's me personally.
Yeah, that more info is needed on that, Robert. I know your work is good enough. I wouldn't put my work in a $1,000 gallery.
Yeah, I mean, Robert, your work is definitely good enough. That's for sure. Yeah. It just, I would think it has. I mean, that's based solely on. Do you think it's worth it? I don't know. I mean.
Yeah.
And Aaron says only if you think you would profit, but I mean maybe profit isn't the only motivation. I mean sometimes the exposure alone makes something like that worth the investment in perhaps future business.
Like what Adam said, it's like, what are the other names that you're going to be displayed with? If it's displayed with some top names in their field, or not top names, but respected names in their field, of art. It might be good to be attributed with them and in the same conversation with them. I remember when I was an up and coming YouTuber, like I am still, I was honored anytime, I would be reading a post about blacksmith YouTubers and they'd go, oh yeah, you got to watch people like Roy Adams, Black Bear Forge, James, and Island Metal Forge. And I'd be like, you're including me in these three? Or these two? Like, holy cow. So it's like that alone might be worth something.
Parsons, I can already see you doing that. I can that audio clip is going to be memed the hell out of. I can tell it's happening already.
I have been trying to be meme worthy for 4 years, and no, I'm not meme worthy.
Hey, and now we have the ability to get those little audio clips and store them away for later.
Yeah, you do. So clip me harder, Daddy. I'm so bad. Okay. All right, we're back to the intro stuff. Let's like.
Stream has devolved already.
White. We've already devolved. I haven't even said how my week is going.
I mean, I'm just gonna say right now. To be fair, the.
To be fair.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't even know what I was gonna say. I just wanted to get that clip out there.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean it's funny, but my week
and yeah. So yeah, Yamez, how's your week been? Would you get going on?
Not much and quite a bit at the same time. Work has been steadily over the past month or so, been steadily increasing it. I've already been busy, and it's getting busier. And as I mentioned last week, I believe it was,
Going to use up the
we're going to be slammed, and I'm going to be working Saturdays and or working occasional Saturdays, and it's just going to be swamperoni busy. I did manage to get out to the shop for a little bit yesterday and finish up a project that I started about a year ago. That was it. I would have liked to have seen John Burnell in the chat for this, but he ain't here. He misses out.
Right,
I have
right.
sitting with me a project that I finished yesterday that I started about a year ago, and that is the Damascus Bowl. It is complete.
Oh man,
it looks cool.
That thing is bad. Let me. Oh, you got the bowl right there. Let me flash up a picture here. I do have that.
Yeah, you can go over to the pictures of it.
No, I can't because they're in our personal chat.
I also put them in the. We'll switch over to that, but I also put them in art and sculpture gallery.
I don't even. There's so many channels.
But I mean, you know what? I'm a focus.
Gallery?
Yeah.
Ah.
All right, let me just go back here. Oh, art and there we go, gallery.
It's so dark in here right now, but yeah.
There they are. Okay, so
you can see the pattern really good in the pictures.
I'm not sure if that's up or not.
Yeah, I can see it on the screen.
Cool.
And but you're not in the. You'd have to scroll down to the last of it. There it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. Oh, okay. It is showing you what I got on the screen, so I can just go like that. Open original. And look at that pattern. Isn't that neat? Now I didn't even notice the little touch mark right there in the bottom of it, right in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, I did now, but I mean, I didn't notice that yesterday when I was looking at them.
Morning, Jim. Troy.
All right, and so back to this.
So yeah, I mean, yay for that. So my week's been nice.
Good job on the bowl, man.
Thank you. I still don't know what I'm going to do with it, whether I'm going to attempt to sell it or keep it for myself or what. I have no clue. So yeah, I got no clue what I'm going to do with it. I just wanted to finish it. It's got an antique finish, so kind of purposely it doesn't have a shine. So it's a dark bowl, but when you pick it up and look at it, the pattern is very prominent. You know? So yeah.
Make a nice, make a nice khaki bowl or change bowl.
Right.
Yeah,
I was going to say another type of bowl, but you know, it's not legal in all parts of the world.
Yeah, and I just got the. There we go.
Morning, Dana.
I did one of those. I bought back at what do you call it, Quad State or whatever. I bought one of the splat bowl patterns from Roy over there at Chrysler Ironworks. And
Yeah.
that was my first attempt at a bowl, and it was a bit tricky. I'm not gonna lie, especially trying to get the edges to roll, you know, the opposite direction. Because I mean, it was kind of easy to curve the whole thing in the. This is difficult with watching and yeah. Anyways, it was easy to get this curve in, but getting the splat to go the other direction was a little bit problematic, but we got it figured out. Danimal, my channel name is Transcendental Artist Studios.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, both Sully here and Adam here are channel managers for Island Metal Forge. We built into this channel double redundancy. If for some reason I cannot go live, either of these two can. Okay, under Island Metal Forge.
Just like I am right now. This is I'm running. You know, I'm live as Island Metal Forge from my house, and you know, because we just got this new equipment in. Well, it came in like last week, but I got it set up. We got in and got it set up yesterday, and this was kind of the point, so that in a pinch, I could, you know, do a stream, and I just wanted to host it today, just because I'm home and might as well take the opportunity to see how it works, and you know, get a little bit of streaming under my belt, so that I don't look like a complete fool all the time. Once in a while, it's fine, but you know.
I don't know. I'll message Roy and ask. People are asking why Roy isn't here.
It's because I'm hosting. That's it. He probably popped in to lurk for a minute and went, nope, I'm out.
I doubt that. Roy loves you.
Yeah.
Roy is watching. He's lurking. I'll bet you anything.
There it is. Morning, Roy. Morning.
He was lurking.
Hey, how's it going there, Jared? Ain't seen you in a while.
Where you were, Roy.
Hey, is that Roy? Is that Roy I see over there?
What's up, J-Rod? Adios, Wayne. People come in, people go out.
The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out.
I missed it. Yes, someone said, I think it might have been Dragon's Dame. No, I'm not sure. About Robert Lonus's channel. He's on YouTube, but I don't know about him actually posting any videos or something like that. It's just he's one of those Smiths that has a fantastic reputation, does a spectacular work in person.
Yeah, you can see his work in several places. I know he posts a lot of his work in the Island Metal Forge chat here on the Forge chat, the Discord platform. Every Sunday he just, wows us with his stuff. Between him, John Brunell, and Roy posting their stuff during the streams and everything. It's like, man, I don't know if I could pick a favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've shown any of you guys in the chat or on this. So last year you guys would have known that I went down to Sam Town's place and made a knife for my father for his birthday. It's now a year later, and the knife was finished, but I've been waiting to get the sheath back. I've been waiting to get a sheath made, so it's now actually been made, so I can now actually do the whole, that's not a knife, that's a knife joke. So hold on a second, I'll grab it.
Yeah.
So, that's not a knife. That's a knife.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, so just to show you, it is longer than my head.
And
It is.
that's
It's about
with the
2
goatee.
hand spans.
That's with the goatee.
Yeah, but yeah. So I've been waiting for this because we had to make a fairly substantial sheath for it, so I could hang off a belt. But it's also got to be like strapped to the leg so that it can actually, get in and out of vehicles and stuff like that. This is custom made from a friend of mine, so yeah, it was fairly substantial and it took a while to get it done. Of course, the move didn't help where we lost the knife for a little while among stuff, so yeah, so it's now all been finished.
Well, to be fair, that's not a knife. That's a short sword.
It took a whole cow to make that sheath.
Just about, yeah.
Roy. Sorry.
Regretting coming to church already, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm jealous. I want one of them mics. I want to be able to do like,
Whoa.
Sounds of Sully.
And every now and then you can just run down the hallway and be like, hello. Right.
Oh man. Oh, I'm dooming kangaroo.
You're darn right. It's a good thing I moisturized. Woof. I'd be looking pretty rough if I didn't.
I've got some awesome moisturizer. It's sandalwood scented. It's aftershave moisturizer. I haven't used it in a while. Uh-oh.
Where am I? Oh, I got it. I'm dropping the ball here. There we go.
Did you mute yourself for a second?
No. I'm just. It's. I got too many windows going on with different things, so I'm forgetting to pop back and forth on the Discord. For whoever's talking, and so yeah.
I believe there's a setting that you can do that sets focus. I don't know where it would be. To focus the person talking, but if both of us are talking, that would be, and you can click off or click on show. If you right click, you can click and deselect show non-video participants, and that will hide you and Trail Dust's icon.
Okay. Sure.
Just as
Yeah.
Yeah. Just right click me.
Focus this person. Oh, okay. How about that?
And then if you right click my face, it'll pop up a menu, and then you scroll down to the bottom of it.
I got it.
It says, yeah.
Cool. That looks a little bit better, I think, because I mean, yeah, if we're not on video, I mean, it doesn't really, we don't need our logos just popped up there for no reason.
I realize that we're slowly coming up with a blacksmith line for everything. I mean, we've got Cross and Ironwork Flux. We're now coming up with, in the chat. We're coming up with the scented moisturizer for blacksmith, beeswax and boiled linseed oil.
Yeah.
It's pine for mountain man and beeswax and boiled linseed oil for blacksmiths.
Yeah. Pine tar. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked here.
Yeah, I know, right? Do you think?
I know. Did we want to even touch on the topic of the week?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of Adam's space there, and do you want to get started on that there, Adam? If you're prepared.
We can do that. It's more of a so guys. This week it's more of a community focused topic. Reason being is because we've gone through tools and stuff like that we all use, but this is something that we've discussed earlier, and as we move on down the track, particularly as my area is evolving and stuff like that, it's things that can change over time. It's also things that can change in the moment. And I'll touch on something very that will make sense in a minute, but today's topic, of course, is our workspaces. Now, that can be the workspaces in the triangle between your forge to your anvil to your vise, or your workspace in the sense of what type of area that you use to work in. So for myself, for example, at the moment, I don't have a permanent shelter set up. As we all know, I'm still trying to build my workshop. But I'm also trying to build a temporary space. So I've got a temporary space, which is an area that's just basically covered under a tarp at the moment to keep the sun off my back while I'm trying to forge. And that is, a 3 meters, so it's a 9 foot by about 6 foot undercover, under a tarp that's just strung up between some posts and some posts that I've actually got put in for my temporary structure, and a shipping container. And that is my current workspace. Now the reason why I said also, permanent workspace to a temporary workspace is, of course, as some people might be aware, New South Wales and Queensland the last couple of months has actually experienced some severe flooding. If it's not fires, it's flooding. So Seth Wood, the hammer maker, that you guys, Yammers, you helped out, a couple of years back after the bushfires, he had floods go straight through his shed. So he's currently not working whilst he is digging out his shed because mud and silt and everything went straight through his shed. So I saw a photo the other day that Seth had moved an anvil and stuff outside, so I think so that he had could get something done whilst he's still cleaning out his shed. So things happen, and also we get moving. I mean, Sully, you're also a great example. I believe you have two work spaces in the sense of you have one at your work and then one at home as well. So when you're in between your areas, you have two different workspaces that you can work through. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because I'm housed at work most of the time. I'm home for like 1 week a month, and then 3 weeks I'm at work. And so instead of only being able to forge when I'm one place or the other, I went ahead and just set up. Because I've got a garage here, and then I bought a carport and put in it in the parking lot at work and in front of my man camp. And I've got two complete setups: vices and anvils, forges. I've got a coal forge and a gas forge at both locations. And the only thing I don't have double of is my hammers and tongs. So I do throw all those in a bucket and transfer my tongs and hammers back and forth with me when I come home and go back to work or whatever. But just because I've got particular hammers that I like for particular things, and if I just leave half of them here and half of them there, inevitably I'm going to need the hammer that I didn't bring, or I'm going to need the tongs that I didn't bring. And so
Right.
it's easier just to tote the whole 5-gallon bucket every time.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, welcome, Clara.
Yeah. Hey, morning, Clara.
Yep. Morning, Clara. So and then of course we have the people who set up in their garages. We have quite a few people that there's a few YouTubers and also quite a few people in chat that just set up in their garage. Set up in the backyard underneath a tree. Well, your workspace is what you make of it, and like throughout history, blacksmiths have worked next to campfires, on tiny little stump anvils, with very minimal tools. I mean, all the way up to, the Industrial Revolution, where they had massive workshops with, hundreds of tons worth of power hammers and stuff like that, in order to, produce works like, steam engines and all sorts. So your workspace is up to you. At the moment, mine is not all that organized. I don't even have my post vise set up. It's not bolted to the stump because it was removed whilst I moved the moved house, and then of course I had the battle of the termites. So luckily that the stump that my post vise was on was salvageable. I just haven't been game enough to screw it back in yet. It's what you make of it. So basically, what today was about was I wanted to put it to the chat and have a discussion about what your workspace looks like. So if you could describe your workspace, how would you describe it? Mine is quite literally, a la carte in the sense of it is outside, it is under a tarp, and as currently minimalistic as possible. What about you? What is your if you could, like, you guys have seen Yamaz's setup, for example. Anyone that watches this channel would have seen Yamaz Force. But how would you guys describe your setup without any pictures?
Yeah. And on that, I've also posted the link to the Discord again and pinned it. Should anybody want to hop in and talk about their workspace, this is an open forum. So
it's really weird when
I work under Steve.
It's really weird when I'm sitting here doing this and I go to reply to somebody and I'm replying to them as Island Metal Forge.
Yeah. So it's obviously you guys have seen my workshop, and if you go far back enough in time on my channel, you can see my old workshop or workspace, where I wasn't in the garage. I was under a canopy, using a barrel forge, outside, on a Harbor Freight anvil, on a rail anvil. It was just oof. But little tip that I learned for if you're working outside to improve your visibility, have a box, even if it's cardboard and temporary, or if you've got the ability to cobble together a little metal box, and have it next to your anvil, or next to your anvil or below your anvil, just a complete dark shade spot that as you pull your steel out of the forge, if you're working in full sunlight, you can put it in it to get a better gauge on what temperature it is. Just random. But but yeah, reading through the chat, Paul Orchard, open space, roof overhead, base is 15 by 4.5 metres. Dragonstone, mine is quite in the open and under the sun. Morning, Ben.
by 4.5 meters. That's huge, Paul. That's massive.
Right?
That is.
That's 45 feet by 12 foot ish. 13, 14 foot.
No, wait. Yeah.
No, don't correct him.
You probably speak
He's got his
metric better than me.
conversions better. He's got his, and I figured out.
It's about 3 foot to a meter.
Okay. I didn't
15
see.
times 3 is 45.
Yeah, I didn't see the 15 part. I didn't catch the comment. I heard 4.5 meters. I'm like 4.5 meters. That's not 45 feet. No, I got you.
Robert is in a 12 by 20 shed out in the middle of a field set back in the house about 100 yards. Dylan mines an indoor-outdoor setup with 2 anvils, one striking anvil, gas forge, and a 12 by 18 workshop housing my sanders and S's. Clara, her shop is a traveling shop. She goes in the middle of the woods and beats on steel in the campground.
Yeah. And Clara, the live streams are really a lot of fun, and honestly, I think it's more the interaction that is the point, or at least the fun part for me was back in the day before you had to have the certain number of subscribers and all that to go live. Literally, my last live stream was the day before they enacted those rules, and I didn't know that at the time until the next day, and I was like, oh, this doesn't work anymore. That stuff was a lot of fun, and I pretty mostly stopped doing edited videos just because I freaking hate editing, and honestly, I just really haven't had anything worth putting out there. I mean, yes, I've made some projects and whatnot, but and I'd say half of all of the work that I've done out in the forge in the last year, I've videoed it, and then gone back to start editing it, and just gone like, no, this is just crap, and then just deleted it all, just so it's not taking up space on my phone. But I lack the ambition to edit, and if you don't edit, it's horrible. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
so. I get my YouTube kicks on the Sunday morning live stream. So
I think what she's saying is when she's out in the woods, she doesn't have a signal to go live.
Right. Yeah. I did catch that, but I mean, I was just mentioning. Yes, it is fun to do so.
Roy's got a shop of shops. 40 foot by 50 foot, 32 foot tall.
It's not quite as big as Rob Huff's, though.
Yeah, Rob's got a bigger shop than Roy. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
And so,
Rob's gonna set up for success. Oh, the doo-dah day.
So Rob Lerner said he's in a 12 by 20 shed out in the middle feed. You did say that. Then which one were we up to? Trail Dust works out of his garage, puts his forge outside the door with the anvil just inside. Inside the garage is a maze of trails. That sounds like the back of Yarmouth's workshop. And Rob Lerner says has propane, but he prefers coal. Then, of course, we got the Roy bragging about his shop. So just to let everyone know, so at the moment, the temporary workshop that I'm halfway through building after, that's not the tarp that I'm currently working under, will be 9 foot by 9 foot ish, give or take. But the actual workshop that I will be building, that I've got all the pieces for, but I need to clear and set up with electricity and stuff like that, is actually 6 meters by 6 meters. So that's 18 by 18 foot is what it's eventually going to end up at. So I'm growing my shop as it goes temporary to more permanent. And then of course I'll have shipping containers which will expand my space as well. But yeah, so yeah, that's how I'm building up. So don't need to start off with something huge. Anson Ivy was another great example. I was actually watching his shop build with great anticipation before he had that storm that kind of blew everything over. He was in the process of building a shop in his backyard, and then because he was working out of a concrete car shelter, and then he decided he needed a bigger permanent space. So you can work up to a bigger space as you find that you need it, if you need it. And you don't, of course, necessarily need to go out and buy it. You can do what Sully and a lot of other people have done and go buy a shade structure and like a portable carport. And as long as you make sure that you actually anchor it down into the ground, because there's nothing worse than those turning into major sales when the wind picks up.
And honestly, and that's a fact, because I had a 10 by 10 awning, and I had a 16-pound hammerhead tied to each leg on that thing to hold it down, because that's what, 64 pounds worth of hammer holding that thing down, because in my line of work, roughnecks break sledgehammers all the time, or break the handles, and they don't rehandle them. They just throw it away and go grab another one out of the tool shed, whatever, and so that those just get tossed. So I pick up hammerheads all the time. And so I had these things tied down there, and while I was off in Pecos moving a rig, the wind picked that thing up and set it on top of the truck of one of the guys that lived in my shack, and it did like $3,500 worth of damage to the pickup that luckily my homeowner's insurance covered. It didn't cost me anything. He didn't have to pay a deductible, and it didn't cost me anything. So I lucked out there. But if you're going to buy an awning or something like that, I'd recommend, taking it down when you're not working, or, I'd recommend that, because the wind can tear them up pretty fast, even if they don't fly.
One, if it's going to be in a permanent location and you don't want to be taking it down all the time, the flea market by me, they have about 40 canopies anchored into the ground, and what they do is they drop the legs and then take off the fabric and fold them up and put them in a trailer when not in use, and they stay there year round. So you could always, if you don't like the idea of folding the dang thing up and putting the thing back in its bag or whatever, you just take the canopy, take the actual fabric off, toss it on a shelf.
And that's.
And as I always say, for those of you who are working on your driveways and such, build yourselves some portable walls, something on wheels that foldable, that you can roll up out of the way when not in use, and when you need it, like a windshield or something, wind guard, and you roll it out, fold it up, lock it in place, and you can even attach some tool racks to them and have a very portable setup.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any more sharing apart from Roy continuing to make his to make jokes about his side of his shop? There is. I know there is a very dirty joke in that.
Right.
But yes. So the same blacksmith, if I had to describe my shop, it would be a rail anvil, oil pan forge, hand crank blower. I don't have a back seat in my car anymore. I'm presuming it's collapsed.
Or removed.
Indoor outdoor space. Mick Chew, indoor outdoor space, coal and propane forge, and with a broken heel and hydraulic press. That works. You're rather flash, Mick. You've got a hydraulic press. What else? Matt Wyeth runs a Coke in his forge and used a hairdryer for air supply. What else?
Yeah, Robert. That was indeed crickets. Yeah, see, we're uptown. I bought a soundboard, so I got all kinds of sound effects now, and obviously, this is all running through the soundboard, so I could turn, I've got this sound, and then it's a little bit different between original and professional, but I really like the way professional kind of smooths things out with the compression. So, yeah. And so yeah, I got what opening, booing, laughter, yay, sad, game over, clapping, yes,
Yeah.
and then when Ben pops in.
Another idea, guys, about structures, particularly temporary or semi-permanent structures. I don't know if they're any cheaper in the US, but here in Australia we've got, particularly for mine sites or oil rig sites and stuff like that, they have temporary workshops that they actually have kind of like an arched flyover between two shipping containers, and normally it's a semi-permanent fabric that they put on and they anchor down. You can use them, put them on the ground as well. Or even a temporary horse stable. If you live in a rural area, you can look at temporary horse stables. They're generally fairly cheap, and they're the right type of shape as well. So and they're more permanent than the shade structures for the carports and stuff like that. So things like that are options for you to look into, and generally things like your carport, you put your temporary carports, or your horse stable structures and stuff like that, generally don't need council approval, in my opinion, in my experience, because they're not classified as permanent buildings. As long as you anchor them down properly, of course, they're going to be fairly useful for you.
Yeah. Roy brought up, he wanted booing for his for whenever he shows up, so I got that covered. I wanted to.
You gotta have the little kids with the poppers, and they go hooray, for when Roy shows up as well.
Right.
I don't know how many buttons you got, but something for when Ben shows up. You got to have the Wizard of Oz follow the yellow brick road.
What's the?
Oh, that's messed up.
I got that one. The only thing that this one's called Epic Suspense, and we all know what that is. But it's just missing the boo-doo-doo-doo. And I'm like, oh man, that thing is just like 3 seconds too short. Oh. But I thought this one had the badum tish on it, but it does not. So I'm gonna have to get that and put it in slot 3.
But
I mean, this thing is pretty nice, and I mean, and and to be fair, it wasn't that expensive. It was a really fun investment. I'm just loving playing with this thing.
Yeah.
And I'll quit with the buttons now. I'm probably getting annoying, but
We've moved on from today's topic. Nice and short one for today.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
it maintains. If anybody wants to pop into the chat, into the voice chat, and talk about their shop, they're more than welcome to.
And I tell you, there's in my particular case, there's a lot of disparity between my two shops. I mean, yes, I have an anvil on a stump at both places. Well, actually, the one here is not on a stump, but the Metal of the Week music. Yes, I am going to. But yeah, I got an app for that, and we're going to work on that as far as getting the Metal of the Week intro down and set up.
We also need Metal of the Week, Tool of the Week, Topic of the Week.
Right, yeah. And
oh, dang it. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, so we've got some clips we've got to collect still. Last night. Yeah. Last night I only had the wherewithal to pick up the two To Be Fair clips, because I mean, hey, who doesn't like a good To Be Fair? To Be Fair. But then again, that might be just such an inside joke that only 3 people in the chat get it. So
Yeah. Yeah, we need a lurkers. Like, hello, lurkers.
yeah, so yeah, definitely need to get the clips for like the Jaws theme and a few other things. But you gotta what is it, 9 seconds, something like that, fair use. So
Yeah. 7 to 9 seconds is what I usually keep for fair use.
Right.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. My old edited videos, and when I get back to editing videos, it'll remain. The music at the beginning and the music at the end, in my opening splash and ending end cards and everything, is not. It is copyrighted music. The band for it is Dispatch, and it just has that feel.
Hey,
Okay,
Claire's.
I gotta answer this one real quick. Claire goes, "How do y'all store steel in the shop? All over the floor."
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I've literally got like 3 20-foot sticks of stock laying right in the floor, stretching from the door to the door.
I walk in the door and I've got pieces of steel sitting there at the entrance to the door. I walk around the corner. At the corner, I've got some plate steel sitting there. As I go down the corridor, I've got a stack of angle iron, and then as I continue down the corridor into the open space, the shelves got some rusty steel on it. The floor's got some rusty steel on it. I got a 60-gallon bucket full of scrap and discarded projects. And then there's, boxes of horseshoes, boxes of rail spikes. And then I look to my left and there's a bucket with some bar stock. And then around my forge is, scraps. And then I go outside the back door of my forge and there's a pile of rusted steel. And then I look out to the back of the back 40 and there's a tarp, which under it is a whole bunch of steel. I need to get rid of some. I don't store it. It's just there.
Right. Yeah. See, so I've got I have those 3 20-foot sticks. I think they're 3/8 round, 3/8 square, and 1/4 inch round. I think is what I've got sitting on the floor. And then I got a pair of bolt cutters right there, so I can just, whenever I need one of them, I can just snap a length off when I need some of it. But everything else, like all of my big stock, it all sits in my breezeway outside here at the house. And I mean, it is so piled up with, S-cams and axles and just so much big stuff that I can't hardly get to any of it. I got to move so much. I got to move so much stuff just to get a piece of coil spring that it almost makes it not worth it. And I'm like, And then at work, I've just, like, right beside my carport, I've got a little area there where I put down. I just lay down the stuff that I keep there. I try to keep that as clean as possible because, obviously I don't need an eyesore around my workspace in the yard, or the boss is going to, probably do nothing, but he's going to think, ugh. And so I try to keep it as presentable as I can, by not leaving a bunch of clutter out there, because at one time I had a massive, massive pile of steel in between the 2 shacks, mine and the last one. And, it was out of hand, and it took me 2 loads in my pickup to bring all that crap to my house. And, so I just have a little bit of stuff at work so that, I have something to work with should I need it. But for the most part, when I'm at work and I'm going to build something, I go get some new material, or I, go fish something out of the scrap bin, because I don't really need to keep a bunch there.
I have some steel leaning up against the wall of the shipping container inside the container. I have a couple of pieces of steel leaning up against the wall of the container on the outside of the container, and then about 100 meters away from, 300 foot away from my house and current workspace, I have another shipping container that has a whole heap of leaf rings and steel and all that type of stuff inside that I put in there when it moved, and then today I've got another pile that my father dropped off when this afternoon dropped off a bit of steel that will be going towards building my temporary shed, but also had some forgeable steel that was all dropped off into another pile. So basically, at the moment, steel is living where it lies at my place, as long as I don't have to step over it and cause myself dramas.
I did forget another storage spot for me. The back of my truck has got a bunch of steel in it. I don't know how much, I don't know what, so I couldn't tell you exactly. I peeked in there. I saw a horseshoe. I saw some rail spikes. I saw some nuts and bolts, big nuts and bolts. I saw some plate. I think there's a coil spring. Just stuff that I grab and toss in the back of my truck, and it becomes a storage space.
Yeah, that's a good way to characterize the back of my pickup as well. It becomes a catch-all for stuff like we'll come in from out in the field, and my cousin will have picked up 4 or 5 of those stainless steel, what are they, 7-inch gasket rings, and they'll be hanging on the side of the truck, and I just grab the whole stack of them off the tire chain rack and walk over, just toss them in the back of my pickup, and they'll usually stay back there for 6 to 8 months before I'm sitting here at the house, and I go, oh yeah, I need to unload that stuff, and then I just climb up in the back of my truck and kind of like a dog digging a hole, except I'm not throwing it under my legs, it's just going over my shoulder, whoosh, 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 just tossing everything out onto the ground, and then kind of scratching my head and try to figure out where do I put it.
Yeah, no, I definitely, on that subject, good subject, Clara. I've got to definitely build a designated place for my steel. I like Roy's setup with the barrel cut at an angle, but the shelving that I have, I've got to get all the steel off of there and replace it with a better support because it's all sagging.
Hey, I wanted to ask Danimal, since he's right there right now. What kind of crane are you running? I mean, is it a squirt boom? Is it a lattice boom? Are we talking about a walker, or what's up? We typically deal with Link Belt 130 walkers, and we got a few hundreds, but we got we got 4 130s and I think 8 100-ton. Anyway, I was just kind of wondering what kind of crane you was running there.
Well, I find it funny that everyone's got the offcut bucket, the recyclable. I'm going to use that one day bucket that just ends up, kind of growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. On the rare times that you actually use that, 3-inch piece of steel that you cut off that project you did 6 years ago,
It can be useful. It can be useful.
We're all hoarders. That's the problem.
And so like I've got and how you got the trash collection of steel, the stuff that you mess up or you burn or something like that. And so I've got a bread pan on the ground in between where my sander is and my coal forge. And when I screw something up, it just gets tossed into the bread pan, and that way it doesn't get out of hand, because the bread pan will only hold about 4 or 5 pounds worth of metal before I got to go dump it out. So that's how I keep that from getting out of hand. It's a small container. But then as far as the offcuts, they're all sitting. All of my offcuts are sitting on a table. So I've got one of them plastic folding tables, and it's literally, I got my lathe sitting on one half of it, and the other half is all the short pieces of steel that if I put them out in the pile on the ground, they're going to get covered up with blow sand, and I'm never going to see them again. And so, yeah, oh man, I just now thought of that because somebody brought up that. Yeah, I've probably got 300 pounds of offcuts sitting on that table.
Yeah, it's a sturdy table. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Apparently, in addition to Danimals being a crane operator, you got Deranged as a crane operator as well.
Oh, right on.
You fell into the trap of horizontal surfaces there, didn't you, Sully?
No. Sorry. I was reading a link. Sorry, it's Danimals that said that he runs a 70-ton Link Belt hydro truck crane something.
Yeah, and he's going to be running a 100-ton link belt, so hydro.
My bad. Yeah, I'm definitely got a lot of 5-gallon buckets. Most of them are filled with various acids. Vinegar.
Appreciated Black Bear Forge for, his off-cut bucket and hook of the week. Because that's a really great way to use that, that 5-gallon bucket that we all have that's just full of random assorted crap.
Yeah. No, I definitely need to, and I'm not, you know what, I'm not even going to say it. Because I say it all the time and I don't do nothing about it.
Yeah,
In your shop, there you go.
Dylan, it's literally and I'm not even kidding. It's just one of them cheap white plastic folding tables, and you'd be surprised how much you can put on one. I have never collapsed one. I mean, I don't think it's impossible, but I mean, heck, I got a little bitty one that's like 3 feet wide that I took to Quad State back in hold on, let me look at my arm, 2019, and. That was, it was a little table. I mean, literally, at 36 inches long and maybe 24 inches deep. And I put probably better than not three quarter. Let's see, it's not a half a ton, but maybe 700 pounds, 600 pounds worth of steel is what I piled on that for my sales stuff. It was all like cable and whatever, and it held it. I mean. I was like, it'll hold or it won't. Who knows? And so yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, obviously you don't want to put it all on one side, but if you spread it out, those tables will hold quite a bit. Yeah. It surprised me, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Robert brings up a point. Funny how we all have the same bucket for sure. I tell you, it would be really cool is once I figure out this little equation in this quantum physics project I'm working on. I'm going to have what's called a blacksmith's bucket, and it's a tech piece that I'm going to attach to a 5-gallon white bucket, and it's going to link to every single blacksmith shop in the known universe, so that when you reach in it, you are accessing the collective scraps from every blacksmith. Just a shared scrap pile.
And I was just thinking, because since we've all got the same bucket there, as Robert brought up. You know what would be neat is like it's maybe not really a practical thing for all of us all across the country and stuff, but in your local area, you fill up the little scrap bucket and then you have like a bucket swap with another blacksmith in your area, and be like, hey, this is my scrap bucket, it's full, yours is full, let's swap buckets and see what we got. I think that'd be a neat little exercise. And what kind of goodies do we have in here? Because one person's trash is the other one's treasure.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember the Mank Shank challenge from?
Yeah.
Everyone remember the Mank Shank challenge from a few years ago.
Oh, that was amazing.
Scrap bucket challenge.
Yeah, the Manky Tank challenge was so much fun to do. I'm not kidding. That was probably the most fun video I ever did.
Yeah.
And everybody got into it too. I mean, everybody hammed it up for that one. That was a great community building idea right there.
Oh yeah, there was some good ones. Freaking doofus over there pulling out an entire chain and then pulling an anchor out.
Right, yeah. And then Caitlin pulling out that big old claymore.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't a claymore, but it was a big ass sword, anyways.
And then you had John over there from Black Bear Forge. He pulled the whole. He dove down into it and then cut the footage with like a shipwreck dive.
Right. Yeah.
And he goes, "That was weird."
Well, Dylan, that is a good point. It would be about, I'd say about 3/4 would be the same kind of stuff, but it's them little gems that are down in the bottom that you go, ooh, how about that? Yeah, okay, and yeah, I can see that there, Trail Dust. If you're allowed to bring drops home, whoo, that's like me with S-cams. I mean, our 5-axle trailers, the S-cams on those things are, I mean, I can't even show you. 2 feet long, something like that, 1.25 inch diameter, 1045 steel, and yeah, I mean when they do the brakes on a trailer, I got 10 of them things, and I've literally got a stack of probably 75 of those S-cams, and it's just like, at a certain point, when do I stop bringing them home? Because I'm not entirely sure.
I feel you there, Tully. I have a very good friend of mine and a former employee of mine that's a diesel mechanic, heavy diesel fitter. And of course, when they replace leaf springs on trucks and stuff like that, he gives them to me. So I've had to tell him to stop delivering them to me because I have half a shipping container of leaf springs, of worn out leaf springs that are just they're not cracked or anything, it's just saggy, so they're worn out. That I've got more than a lifetime supply of the leaf spring that I'm ever gonna need, and these are from half inch thick all the way up to near on 1.5 inch thick of heavy duty trucks leaf spring steel. It's just like I'm never going to use all this steel.
And that's the thing there. I pulled one spring stack out of the scrap bin off of a Kenworth, and that's been 2019. God, I hate that I have to look at my arm to figure out what year it was. But I have never cut a piece off of any one of those leaves. Now, I took the stack apart because the whole stack is just too much for me to move myself. So I had to take the stack apart. So I have all of the individual leaves still, and I've never cut a piece off of them. Like you said, the small end is a 1/2 inch thick, and the middle is darn near 1 inch thick. And they're what, 5 inches wide, something like that. It's just, each leaf is well over 100 pounds, and yeah, that's the thing right there. It's it's the it scrolled past. Paul, they're too good to throw away. Yeah, that's the problem. S-cams are just really handy. They're good for making hot cuts, and I've made a hammer out of a 4 inch or 4.5 inch section of S-cam just to see if I could do it. And it's a very decent medium carbon steel, and it's like I see a whole set of S-cams in the trash, and I'm like, oh man, I can't leave those there. And I just feel compelled that it's absolutely necessary to climb in there and pull them all out, and I can't help myself. It's like I can't,
than wasted steel.
I can't leave a medium or high carbon steel in the scrap bin to go get sent to China to be melted down. No, I just can't do it. I've got to save it. It needs saving. I'm rescuing it from.
To be fair, though, the better steel we send them, the better quality they can do, I guess. The better Chinesium would be. I don't know if I lost audio or what.
No. Why?
Okay.
Oh, it's like you talked and then there was crickets, right?
Yeah, I cracked a joke and nobody laughed. I'm like, is it mic check?
I said there's nothing more painful than watching steel goes to waste for me. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys have it there in the US, but here in rural parts of Australia, we have what's called a waste transfer station. So it's not an actual dump, but it's kind of a community dump, and we take all sorts of stuff there, everything from steel to our local household waste and stuff like that. And what they actually do is they collect it all together and they transfer it to the main dump. Okay, so the actual dumping place. So it's called a waste transfer station. So in my area, we've got there's 4 areas to it. So you've got your regular waste, your garden waste, your steel, and then you've got white goods, so you can drop off your dead fridges and freezers and stuff like that, and that's separate to steel. So every time I do a dump run from here, because we don't get our rubbish collected, we have to take it. I drop off the rubbish and then go down to the steel area and do a drive past that to see, is there anything that piques my interest? It doesn't even have to be useful. It's kind of like, is there anything that's useful and that's useful? I'll grab that, and that's where I got the a couple of years back. I got a truck axle, and it like completely random. It was a inch and a half by inch and a half square solid truck axle that was just sitting there, and it was kind of like, okay, pick that up and throw that in the back of the ute, and because again, there's nothing more painful than seeing good steel go to waste.
Yeah.
And we have someone popped into the Discord.
Yeah, I believe that was
That's what that
Aswan.
is.
Yeah, how's it going, Aswan? Hope you're having a great day. We're doing pretty fair here with our experimental kind of thing going on. Well, not really experiment, but,
He says, hello.
doing what we can. Trying to do something different. And
Forge chat. But, everybody, where'd you get your metal from? I get mine from Tractor Supply. You are spending a lot.
way too much.
There. Tractor Supply, even as far as purchased steel goes, is on the more expensive side.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna go that route and you don't have another option, Lowe's or Home Depot has a lot cheaper than 25% cheaper than Tractor Supply.
I would.
Like, holy cow! And if you're looking for look around for welding shops and fabrication shops and talk to them about their scrap piles. Look for steel scrap yards and see if they'll let you buy some of their scrap. But new steel is expensive,
Particularly with the welding and fabrication.
I was going to mention
With the,
if you Google like in your area steel supplier or whatever, you'll likely come up with something that the manufacturing facilities where they get their steel. And just for instance, the 3 sticks that I've got sitting in my floor out in the shop, 3/8 square, 3/8 round, and 1/4 inch round. I think I paid $24 for all 60 foot.
Yeah.
That's not bad. If I'd have bought 60 foot of steel from Tractor Supply, it'd cost me $300.
Now, he says the closest fabricator to him, or welding shop or whatever to him, I'm assuming, is probably 30 miles away. Now, this may be one of those instances where a country mile is different than a city mile or a suburban mile. But the scrapyard that I go to when I buy steel, the fabricator, I can buy new steel or scrap steel from them. I could buy off their rack. It's about a 40-minute drive on highways. It's about a 30 to 40 mile drive. I have to go through two towns and a county, or 3 counties to get to it. I got to go through Camden, Shawboro, Elizabeth City, Kirkland's. Yeah, it's a hike. But the money you save in steel. I would only pick up a bar stock from Home Depot or something like that if it was I just needed it right then and there for something that I'm doing. Dang it, I need it to finish the project. And even still, the nearest Home Depot to me is 30 miles away, so it's
on that note, quite literally, and I just actually went and checked it. From where I get my steel from is 45 kilometers away or 28 miles. Quite literally. So, yeah, but when it comes down to it, sometimes it's price as well, because at the end of the day, and I live in my part of the world. I quite literally live in next to but buggery nowhere, right? So it's but there are still 3 steel suppliers in the local region, and I say that in inverted commas because that's, like I said, that's 28 miles plus away from me. If I lived, I probably could live further, but if I lived further, I'd have to come into town for shopping and stuff like that anyway to do grocery shopping and whatnot. So depending on your trip, sometimes it works out better to pre-plan, buy your stock. If you're getting a piece of something from Harbour Freight or your local hardware store, if necessary, is okay. That's all right once enough. But if you're actually buying steel, in decent lengths, spend that time, go to your steel supplier and actually buy 6 meter lengths. And they generally only charge cents if you've got a small truck or what we call a ute. I can only carry 3 meter lengths before it becomes illegal, but it costs me 10 cents to cut a 6 meter length in half.
Yeah, I will say this. Take $100. If you got the money, this would be an expensive experiment. Take $100, go to Tractor Supply, spend $100 on steel, set it down in your shop. Take another $100, run over to your closest welding supply shop or steel supply shop, and drop that $100, or heck, use that $100, put some in the gas tank to get you there and back, enough gas to get you there and back, and then with the remainder, go through their steel rack and buy as much as you can, finish off that $100, and then set it next to the pile from Harbor Freight. You'll never go to Tractor Supply. You'll never go to Tractor Supply again.
And I think the biggest thing there is kind of like what Roy was saying. He has a 6.5 hour drive one way to go buy steel in bulk. And the big thing is to kind of just plan ahead and be like, all right, well, because you're buying it in 20-foot lengths, and so you just kind of plan ahead and be like, all right, for this project, I'm going to need this, this, and this, and I may do this, that, or the other. And so, okay, I need 8 feet of half-inch round. All right, go buy 2 sticks, you for the same price, and then you've just got it. So, you may make that trip once a year to go buy, a new stock. You don't have to do that all the time. I'm sure Roy doesn't make that 6.5 hour drive or whatever once a month. I'm sure that would make it very not worth the effort.
Yeah. Also consider, okay, so if you're, and this is not specifically to Steven, this is to anybody listening. If you're in a position where, right now you're just doing bottle openers and keychains and odds and ends and smalls, think of your most used stock that you use, half-inch square, half-inch round, whatever, 3/8, and go, take the day, go over to the steel supplier and buy bring a battery grinder or some sort of saw, because if they charge a cut price, it'll up the price. And buy, like the place by me, they sell it in 20-foot sticks. So it's like I can go and spend $12 on 20 foot of half-inch square stock, hot rolled, and take it over to my truck. They give me one cut for free. I usually have them cut it in half, and then I just have it sticking out the back of my truck. If I had a battery saw, I'd go over there and cut it into 3 pieces, and boom, I got 20 foot of bottle opener stock,
Yeah, and don't make the mistake I did. I went back when I still had the Mercedes. I went over to West Texas Steel there in San Angelo, and I had to buy some stock for one project or another. I don't remember what it was. And I just I've got a battery operated Sawzall, so I brought that Sawzall with me because they were going to charge me $1 a cut, and I had to cut all this steel down into 5-foot lengths to that's about what I was thinking, so I could get it in the car, because I laid the back seat down and then went in through the trunk and across in between the 2 front seats and down into the passenger side floorboard, and and of course I wrapped rags around it here and there, so I didn't get any of the film that's on new steel. I didn't get it on the leather or the carpet or anything like that. And anyway, so my plan was instead of them charging me $1 a cut, I'm just gonna cut it into quarters with my little battery operated Sawzall. And the very first piece of steel, just knocked all the teeth off my cheap metal cutting blade that was on my Sawzall, and I was done. I was just like, oh crap. And then one of the hands out there that's the shop loader guys is like, he sees me struggling with it, and he's like, hey, do you want me to cut that for you? And I was like, yeah. And so he just like took the whole bundle and just like went over came at it with a torch and just whacked it all with a torch. So they don't charge you to cut it with a torch, but they do charge you to throw it up on the bandsaw. And so yeah, he cut it into fourths for me with the torch, and then cooled the ends in a bucket and just stacked it all in there. But yeah, the Sawzall was not the way to go. In hindsight, I should have done one of the battery operated angle grinders that I don't yet own. But
yeah, I'd kind of like to get one to toss in the back of my into the bench seat of my truck, just because you never know when you're going to come across a piece of steel that you want, but it's too big for you to carry.
One last thing, guys. Sorry, I had a sneeze. One last thing is, if you're struggling to find steel out of scrappers or something like that, the final option is check out Facebook Buy Swap Sell, Gumtree, Craigslist, whatever, because there is always someone selling scrap steel somewhere in your local area. And so, you can always, send them a message saying, I'll give you $5 for what you've got, and you might end up with some good stuff. You might end up with some stuff that you got to send to the scrappers yourself. But hey, that's an option as well.
I wanted to point out, Stephen Parsons says, the way things are right now with prices, I don't think so. Prices are what prices are, and they're not going to come down. I mean, like, inflation goes up and up and up and up. It's highly unlikely that anything is ever going to get cheaper than it is now. I mean, noticeably, like, when I was at Lowe's not too long back, and I think it was like $28 for a piece of sheetrock or something like that. I remember 15 years ago paying $1.98 for sheetrock. I guarantee you, I will never buy sheetrock for $1.98 ever again. Or $10 or $15. It's never going to be. I mean, it's at 20 something dollars right now. It's never going to be under $20 again ever. And so, like sitting around and saying, well, I've got to wait for things to get cheaper. Well, that's not going to happen. So I mean, so what you pay for stuff. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of ebb and flow, with the economy and supply and demand, but not a lot. I mean, because if you think about it.
Significant as we've seen.
Yeah. There's not going to be a significant decrease in price because once you're used to paying a certain price for something, why would they make it cheaper other than competition? But for the most part, this. Yeah, I mean, like, you're buying sheetrock from Home Depot. I'm using sheetrock as an example just because it's on the top of my head. But you're buying sheetrock from Home Depot or Lowe's. There's maybe a 20-cent difference in the price, but they both get their sheetrock from U.S. Gypsum. And U.S. Gypsum charges both of them the same amount of money for that sheetrock. And U.S. Gypsum doesn't really have any competition to speak. I mean, there is, but that's just where it comes from. And so they know what they can charge for their sheetrock, which if they're selling it for $28, that means Lowe's and Home Depot are probably in it for $14 a sheet. And U.S. Gypsum is probably not going to waver more than $1 down per deal as far as for incentivation for whatever. So there's not going to, decreased demand will not bring the price down noticeably, in my opinion, because, once you're used to paying this much for it, that's just what it costs. About the only exception to that is gasoline, and that's solely because the entire world economy runs on crude oil. And so that is the only exception with the drastic up and downs. Because basically the price of oil affects the price of everything else on the planet, and so there is that. But everything else, as far as solid, tangible goods and services,
commodities,
inflation. So and if you don't get a pay raise every year to match the rate of inflation, you're taking a pay cut. And yeah, sorry, I got off on a tangent there. I was just mentioning, don't wait on prices to come down to buy what you need to do what you need to do, because you're just going to wind up never getting the material.
The price that you want.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, it's possible to come across it in scrap or free or something like that. So I mean, it's not it's not like that. But you know, yeah, if I need 60 foot of 3/8 and I go, oh man, that's going to be like $22. And you know, 5 years ago I could have got that for $6. I'm going to wait for it to come back down. Well, I'm just never going to get that 60 foot of steel. You know, so I know that this is what it cost and this is what I'm going to pay for it. Otherwise, I'm just not going to buy it. Yeah, you're right there, Daniel. Your company truck costs about $2.50 a mile to drive because 2 miles to the gallon. Yeah, that's about what I get in my bed truck. I think I get 2.5 as my average. But the reason for that is because I spend anywhere from 14 to 36 hours on location idling, or not idling when I'm running the winch, but idling when I'm sleeping and all that. And all of them hours sitting there running without moving, still it makes my mileage shite. Matt Wythe brings up a good point. Do you find you have to significantly raise your prices of your products to offset the cost of the steel? I would say that's probably an across the board thing. Thoughts?
Yeah. Because prices of everything going up, so it's like you raise the price because of the steel prices, you raise the price because of the cost of consumables, you raise the price because of the cost of, again, as Sully was saying, it affects everything, the cost of fuel to go pick stuff up, to like, oh man, it's like, and where I live, when I sell something, a lot of the times, I offer delivery on certain things, to certain customers, where it's like, hey, yeah, like this little old lady likes to buy a lot of the stuff, the knickknacks that I make, but she can't leave the house. So I'll do a drop. And she's hyper paranoid about, even COVID gave her an excuse to never open her door. She has a little airlock set up. So I go to her place and I open the airlock, her little, open the first door, and I put in the steel, and then she comes out, sprays Lysol everywhere, and then puts a little envelope with money, and then closes it, and I grab it. It's like, but so yeah, I do some some driving for delivery, so all of that comes into the prices. I used to do those hearts for $15 on the when I do them hearts next time I do a run of them. I'm charging 20 to 25, and people are either going to pay it or not, but I maintain that my prices are not dictated by your budget. If you can't afford it, sorry about your bad luck.
Right, and hey, Metal Blueberries, thanks for stopping in.
Hey,
glad you could make it, Bloobs. Been working on a tomahawk for the neighbor's son today. Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, and I haven't brought it up yet, but everybody, hey, remember to smash that like button and like that smoosh button, because
yeah,
that helps. Uh-oh, somebody popped in or out.
That was Oswan dropping.
Ah.
It does, Ben. It does. So yeah, if you're at a point where you're selling stuff or going to be making stuff to sell, just raise your prices, and offset that. I'm in the weird position of some of the stuff that I make things out of, I've gotten for free, but I still have other shop expenses, so people kind of has to.
Stuff you also got to treat, even if you get stock for free, you've got to treat it like you don't get that stock for free, because if you're making a saleable item, you've got to replace that stock.
Yeah.
So you have to treat it as though you're, that stock cost you money. So keep that. I mean, most people like that aren't doing this for a living, but that's something you do have to keep in mind as well. Something I was always taught: even if you get something for free, you've got to and you're making something out of it. You've got to charge for as though you have paid for it because you have to replace it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you got
Unless, of course, you like.
just because you got that horseshoe that you made the horseshoe heart out of for nothing because it's a used one, it doesn't mean you don't charge for your material because you might not be able to get the next one for free. You might have to go spend $7 for it.
So yeah. Unless, of course, you have a personal direct line to a farrier where you can continue getting them for free. However, that farrier is going to clue on eventually that you want all these horseshoes for free, and he's going to start charging you because he's a businessman too and needs to make money.
Well, and honestly, I've got 3 5-gallon buckets of horseshoes, and probably better than 30 or 40 farrier's rasps from the farrier lady that I made the 2 hammers for. I traded her she paid for the material and consumables, and then traded the labor for the 3 5-gallon buckets of horseshoes and piles of not even used farrier rasps, brand new, still in the cardboard wrapper. I mean, like, I've literally got a stack of rasps. I can't figure out the camera and the mirroring, but yeah, I've literally got 30 or 40 rasps that are brand new, and I'm like, I have no idea what to do with these. No idea. And so I mean, like, they just sit in the toolbox of my pickup and rattle around. They come in handy for this, that, and the other, though. They are good for hot rasping for sure.
My volume dropped. That's weird.
See you, Dylan. Have a great day. And that's another good point there that Daniel brings up. On top of replacing the part or the material, it's not fair to other smiths if you undercharge because your material is free right now. Tomorrow it might not be so free, and that's a good point. I mean, like for the most part, we're all blacksmiths or metal artists of some sort in this chat right now, in this stream, and it does none of us any favors to undercut each other. I mean, like, so if there's kind of like I mean, there are people that charge way more for their stuff, but for the general public, I mean, like, for instance, hammers, all of us charge within, I would say, within $10 of the same amount for a handmade hammer. And the reason for that is, I mean, yeah, okay, so I made this out of a piece of yeah, because if I start making hammers with, paid for brand new material, like what I use for the ones that I sell, and I start selling those for $60, I mean, I'm not going to say, well, everybody's going to buy my hammers instead of yours. Well, it doesn't really work like that, but it does give them leverage against everybody else. Being like, well, if Sully's selling a hammer, the same 2 1/4 pound rounding hammer for $60, why are you selling it for $140? So we try to, or we should try to, when you're going to sell your wares, is kind of compare it to what the market price is, and take into account your labor, take into account your material, and charge accordingly. And sometimes that's hard to do because you think, geez, I spent so much time on that, I can't charge for my time. And I don't know. I mean, that gets into that whole thing, like Roy goes on about, is don't undervalue yourself. I think maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Roy was constantly getting on my butt for you need to charge more for some of that stuff. It's like, I don't feel I'm any good at things, so it's like I charge accordingly, and it's like, I could probably charge a lot more.
Well, and I think the point I was trying to make when I saw that squirrel was, whether I paid $15 for that hammer billet or I got that hammer billet for free, that doesn't change the price of my hammer. Because in order to buy another hammer billet, I got to pay for it, and so, yeah, that was my point, and I could have really just said that in 30 seconds instead of going on a 2-minute spiel. But where's the fun in that?
With that though, that's a nice separate topic as well that we kind of brushed in on. Stretching, but I mean, looking at the clock, we hit almost 2 hours already.
Ooh.
So, yeah, don't exactly, Paul. Don't sell yourself short.
Right.
But
yeah, I think it might be time to kind of shut this thing down and get on with our day, huh?
Yeah, I know I got stuff I need to take care of.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll start off here. My final thoughts is your workspace is an important tool in your arsenal in metal art, whether it's fabrication or forging or whatever floats your boat in that department. And so keep your workspace clean, keep it organized, and as best as you can, anyways, because that makes it so much more pleasurable to get out there and create. Is when everything is where it should be, and it's nice and tidy, and you can find everything. So keep your workspaces clean, put on your PPE, get out there and make something, and most importantly, have fun while you're doing it. Yamez, what do you got?
It'd be nice to have a nice, clean workspace, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. So I settle with a workable workspace, whether you're outdoors, indoors, temporary or permanent. Make the best use of the space that you have. Don't let shop envy get you down. Some of the greatest things have been created in a backyard, so don't let, and never let anybody tell you can't do it because you don't have ... Get her done, figure it out. Hit her, pat her, let's get at her.
Can't, never could.
And you can find me at Island Metal Forge, this channel, and if you Google Island Metal Forge, it'll bring up everything and anything. IslandMetalForge.com, Island Metal Forge Instagram, Island Metal Forge Facebook, and Island Metal Forge YouTube, Island Metal Forge onesies, Island Metal Forge spandex, all that stuff. And coming soon, OnlyFans.
Using my outro, has he?
Yeah, I didn't hear you. I thought you were still okay. You can also find Beergrass Forge at Beergrass Forge.
Yeah, Yamez, you can't be stealing. You can't be stealing Adam's thunder like that.
All right. The thunder from down under will take over.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Now, if you'd like to suggest a topic, metal, or tool of the week, you can let us know via email at islandmetalforge@gmail.com or drop it into the hashtag Metal of the Week on Discord. Links in the description. We go live every week, 10 a.m. Eastern, every Sunday here on YouTube, and you can join us in the chat, or you can join us also live on Discord via the Discord link under Blacksmith Church. That's 12:30 a.m. Or currently 11:30 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time, Sunday night, early Monday morning. Check your local time for when to join. To see more from Yamez, of course, you can find him at Island Metal Forge on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all the other socials. You can find Sully at Transcendental Artist Studios on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And me, Adam at Speargrass Forge on YouTube, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, we also have channel memberships. You can, if you'd like to help support us, you can join by clicking at the channel membership button right underneath the video here. And of course, for your contribution, you also get access to exclusive emojis, a shout out, and more. So if you'd like to support us, don't forget to click on that join button. And finally, for my final thoughts, guys, as long as you are able to get out there and make, get out there and make. Make hay while the sun shines, spread the love, make sure you appreciate your family, time is short, and be well.
Yes.
Well said, Adam. And with that, I think we're gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to end the live stream. I haven't done this in quite some time, and I've well, okay, not since last night,
And
but
YouTube first, then OBS.
right. Okay, so y'all, thanks for showing up. I do appreciate it, and sorry if I got a little bit irritating or what. I don't know, whatever. First shot out of the box. So y'all have a great day, and go make something. Bye.
Yay!
Oh wait, that's not right. There it is. And we should be clear.